Hello and welcome to my Pokemon Journey, it's episode 100, Up Close, Leon's Secret Training Review. So we start in the aftermath of last episode. Ash is still in Galar, however he overslept, so Go left him to go catch some Pokemon outside of Motorstoke in the wild area. It's kind of a shame you don't get to go to the city itself, but Ash has to try and catch up. He runs into some kids who recognise him for his victory against Marnie, which is awesome. They're very on way to watch a battle that Leon's having. Off the bat, we're off to a great start. Last episode mattered in regards to the story of this one, and leads us pretty organically into this episode. So Ash gets back to Wyndham Stadium, where he sees Leon fighting Sinnoh Elite Four member Flint, and just gotta say, we were happy about that one. I predicted either Flint or Piers would be in the top 8 as a wildcard pick, and I was right about Flint. He's currently ranked 7, but it doesn't last long, as Leon pretty handily destroys him, and like we know Flint is strong as hell. He gave Cynthia's Garchomp a good fight at the end of DP, but he stands no chance against Leon. I do love that we get to see Leon showing respect to his opponent though. After battle he approaches and offers a handshake, like he did against Lance and Raihan. It's super great seeing both of these tough trainers acknowledge each other's strength and want to battle again. As Ash leaves the stadium, he sees Leon meeting the crowd and approaches to show that he's at rank 15. As Leon is now free, he's going to head training and invites Ash along with him, which is great, I love that. Meanwhile, on the other hand, goes in a wild area watching Grookey play with some Gossifleur and catches one. So he gives Ash a call and finds out what Ash is going to be doing, and while jealous, he decides to go and try and find some rare Pokemon in the meantime. But it's found by Sonia, and she decides to take him along with her to find a spot with rare Pokemon. I thought this scene was hilarious because he remembers how she drives and doesn't want to get in, but she forces him in. I do want to take a second to talk about Sonia here, as I feel she's horribly underused in this episode. Essentially, her role is just an exposition dump about Leon to Go, and I'm not really fond of that. She's a person with her own goals and ideals, and she doesn't really get a chance to show that. She's in the wild area to research power spots, but that doesn't happen, and she felt very underutilized. But enough of that for now, as Leon's taking them to the sea, but gets lost, and the way he confidently just tells Ash they'll be training in the mountains and ignores he mentioned the sea is hilarious. They're quickly off on Charizard heading full speed through the woods, which transitions to Sonia's insane driving, which Grookey's loving, and this is when the direction thing is brought up, but we saw that before in the cake contest episode. And again, this is sort of where the whole idea of Sonia being exposition for Leon comes up, as she mentions he's not like his public image. I'd much rather have Go and Sonia doing her own thing, while Leon hanging out with Ash can show us these things. It's classic show don't tell. I really do love seeing Ash and Leon having fun together though. These two have such great chemistry together, and I really wish we did have a chance to see more of their relationship throughout the show. I think if it was done right, it could have felt like they had a big brother-little brother relationship, which would be especially great coming off of Ash's father-son relationship with Kukui and Sun and Moon. Racing through the sky on Charizard, landing on Leon's Dragapult, hanging out with some Wooloo, it's just the best to watch. And while I'm not a fan of how they handle Sonia in this episode, I do like that when Go questions her about Leon, she refers to him as a Pokemon freak, the same words Dawn used to describe Ash in the Summer Special, which really hammers in their similarities. And oh my god, we finally get a Hop reference as Sonia mentions that Leon didn't have too many friends since he was taking care of his little brother. I genuinely can't believe it took 100 episodes to get this, and there's not even a guarantee we will see Hop. I'm glad to know that my boy exists in this continuity. Leon meeting his Charmander changed everything for him, as learning how to battle and race Pokemon led him to meet so many friends and rivals and really expand his world. Does that sound familiar? It sounds familiar to me. This is exactly how Ash was with Pikachu. He didn't have too many friends in Pallet Town, but meeting Pikachu changed everything for him. He's met so many companions, so many rivals, it's such an amazing parallel. Leon calls battling, training and playing the same thing, and that's really the impression I've got from Ash's training style, particularly since Sun and Moon. Unfortunately, as they eat some Corviknight attack and chase off the Droopy and Wooloo that Ash and Leon were playing with, Leon swiftly gets them away before they can cause harm. While they're gone, Ash climbs up a cliff to see what's up, and some Rookidee are hurt. When the Corviknight sees a Droopy approach, it gets aggro again and blows a whirlwind which knocks the Rookidee down, but Ash jumps to save it. Leon saves Ash, and they bandage the Rookidee so they can all leave safely. It's just a cute sequence that shows the two trainers as a team. As the two chill out after, Ash asks Leon what it's like to be champion. I know it's something that's caused a stir, but I think it's probably smart to look at it in the context of Ash asking Leon what it's like to be the world champion, and just not including world part. There's precedent for this as Flint also refers to Leon as champion. It's obviously not in regards to being the Galar champion, so don't worry, Ash hasn't forgotten that he's the Alola champion. However, Leon's response is class 2. He's never lost a battle. He thought he was at his absolute limit and couldn't get stronger, but then Eternatus showed up and he felt helpless against it. It means there's still a limit he hasn't reached. He can get stronger, and Ash fully understands, and it makes them both fully invigorated for their inevitable battle. I do think Leon's being particularly harsh on himself here because it's just a bunch of factors that led to what happening. I think he pretty clearly beat Eternatus' regular form before it got a second win from Galar Particles, and it was getting knocked out that led to him being unable to use any of his other Pokemon in the battle. But hey, it's still a really good perspective to have, he still has room to grow. Ash and Leon arrive home late as they couldn't find his car, and of course they were lost, and they're reunited with Go and Sonia. I really love part of this episode and wish the other one was a bit better. Ash and Leon were absolutely fantastic, and I suppose that's the part they needed to nail. It did so well in really reinforcing the Leon-Ash connection, and has made me, as well as the characters, far more eager for the eventual battle. Frankly, it made me feel like we should have had many more episodes like this throughout the series, to make me even more excited. It's just so alike in many ways. Not having many friends until meeting a Pokemon who changed everything, training in similar ways, and even being cool Pokemon freaks. They're both just big dorks, and you really feel like the only one who'll be able to beat Leon is someone who's similar to him. I really think Ash can do it. If I really had to nitpick the Leon section, I wish that Charizard maybe stayed out more and we got to see more of Leon and Charizard as partners, just to get like an idea of their deeper bond. That would have been really cool. But the letdown is just Sonia and Go. They don't get a chance to do much. Sonia in particular suffers as we haven't seen her in so long. She's not here to be a character, she's here to tell Go what we can just gather from watching Leon and Ash together. At the very least, Sonia referenced top. As for what they could have done with her, I think maybe asking Go to assist her with her research would have been a great idea, since she did bring up that maybe Go could be interested in becoming a professor before. Build up the parallels with them, show they have confidence issues, things like that, add a narrative there. But on top of this all, I'm very happy we get to see Flint. It wasn't like the most amazing battle ever and Leon puts him down quick, but hey, if you thought Leon needed Gigantamax to win, we don't see it here. I just wonder why Volkner didn't mention Flint at all though. So yeah, for the most part I thought this was an amazing episode, but Sonia is just that one little element that let it all down. The Ash and Leon content almost made up for it though, and it did a lot for the eventual showdown. I love seeing more of Leon's character, I love seeing more of his Charizard and Dragapult in a more casual setting. I guess I would have liked to see more of Leon's team, but you know what, it's not a problem. I thought this was a great episode.